Now, there are some fears tonight that Queensland could be left desperately short of helicopter support if Cyclone Kirrily causes widespread damage. Now, this cyclone is looking very dangerous currently. Sky News investigations reporter Jonathan Lea joins me with some of these exclusive details. Jonathan, what have you managed to find out?
Well, Steve, good evening to you. The truth is that the ADF, Australian citizens, and our counter-terrorism forces are in a dire, if not catastrophic, situation at the moment. The ADF made the decision to scrap our 45 remaining MRH-90 multi-role helicopters. They're commonly known as the Taipans. They were the ones, or they are the ones, which frequently do the air assistance support when it comes to, for instance, what you're seeing there on the screen, Woodburn in Lismore in 2022. With the decision by the ADF to scrap these 45 choppers, it means we don't have a proper helicopter in its place to provide this level of assistance. As we have a Category 3 cyclone bearing down on North Queensland over the next couple of days, it leaves us in a perilous position, especially North Queenslanders, to know who can come to their aid and assistance if they need rescuing off roofs or emergency food drops. We have a much, much larger Chinook-based helicopter. We have 12 of those based in Townsville. My understanding is that they are either currently or very soon will be chained to the ground with this cyclone set to cross the coast on perhaps Thursday night. So what happens if they need assistance and what measures are being put in place? My understanding is, at the moment, none. So who will the Queensland government turn to if there is a problem? I spoke to a strategic analyst, Peter Jennings, a short time ago. This is his thought on the situation.
You know, in my defence career, I spent a lot of time with the senior leadership of the organisation planning for precisely these contingencies. You plan against the worst case, you hope it doesn't come off, but you're ready to go if the government needs you. And what I find just unimaginable is how is it that Defence thought it could wipe out the Army's utility helicopter capability without a clear understanding of when a replacement would actually be there, and that wouldn't matter. And this was in advance of cyclone season, in advance of bushfire and flood season, and without taking into account any terrorism risk or international events. Somewhere in the system between Defence and government there has been a failure of contingency planning.
Yeah. Steve, from what I've been told, we have helicopters down south which could be flown up. They aren't being, there is nothing currently being prepositioned to provide support if that needs to happen. It's a catastrophic situation because these choppers are also used for our counter-terrorism, which means we no longer have that capability. If we needed to go into Port Moresby, we no longer have that capability, and we can't provide the assistance to those in natural disasters either. Could we use the enormous Chinook helicopters? Well, that's like getting a caravan when you need your mate to bunk on a couch. So that is an enormous problem. They're large, they're very, very expensive. Defence has issued a statement to me saying that Defence remains ready to provide support to Australian communities in times of crisis if required and when requested. Assistance hasn't been requested yet, obviously, but the question has to be asked, what preparations are being put in place? Is a private fleet going to be hired to assist Queenslanders if they're in dire circumstances over the Australian long weekend? At the moment, we simply don't know. We can't get an answer. The answer would appear no.
Well, Jono, you and I both know we covered those floods in Lismore in 2022, and I'll never forget the pictures of those Taipan helicopters plucking people off roofs who would otherwise be dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I've covered a number of cyclones in North and far North Queensland. It takes a long time to get an air asset up there. I can tell you honestly, we flew in a chopper from Brisbane to Cairns in 2011. It took us 16 hours to get up there. If you're not pre-positioning your assets, you know, it's a terribly difficult situation for those on the ground who need emergency assistance at that time. So what the Queensland government does, or what it's trying to do, or what it's going to ask the federal government, everyone is in a pickle.
Jono, good work. Thank you very much, mate.